IWYZE, the biggest pressure points that we were hoping to address is that, our pulse score was a little bit lower. We weren't able to get like live data, so it was very much at a point in time. We were hoping to get a real-time view on what the challenges are and just different ways of solving for them, getting more insight. We also saw that a lot of men were struggling with mental health concerns, and it resulted into suicides, which was very worrying. We just wanted to bring to light that men are dealing with a lot of things, and to normalize getting assistance. It's a lot easier for them to chat with Luna or do a coaching course than it is to speak to somebody. We've got amazing feedback. I actually had someone come to me yesterday again and say, Luna is my best friend, and she listens without judging. So yeah, the feedback that we've got is overwhelming from so many different points of view. We had somebody come to us and say, I'm using Luna to help me with my diet plan or an exercise plan. One of our employees also mentioned that she's been having trouble adjusting after postnatal depression. And she's used it to help with sleep sounds for her and baby, which is amazing. And yeah, there's just so many applications. Some more examples include somebody who lost their sister recently, and she was saying things like, I wasn't able to sleep. It was quite a tragic way of losing a sibling. And she used Luna and the sleep sounds, and she was able to finally get some well-needed rest. So with the leadership team, they're super grateful for the insights that it was able to provide. I think we made a lot of assumptions based on our EAP data, which wasn't also a big enough sample size for us to get accurate information. So what they've seen is that communication is a big area of focus. They've now incorporated different ways of coaching leaders to communicate more effectively, more transparently. Yeah, it's really amazing. And things that we did assume were on the radar, actually what is so helpful is that the app or the desktop version of Insights gives you a strategy. It helps you formulate your strategy for that specific focus group. So the leaders have really used it to customize the support that they give to the staff. Yes, there is a change in team morale since the pilot kicked off. And the way that we're seeing this, it's not just leader-led. I think a lot of our strategies from human capital, we train the leaders and we expect them to cascade it. What I've observed is a lot of the ground staff, people have actually taken up space in promoting the app. I love seeing that because it's easier to spread via word of mouth instead of communication after communication. So people have actually just shared what they use it for, and what's quite surprising is it might be something that I haven't used it for before. We're using their faces with verbatim for them to get to know each other. So if I'm somebody in the claims call center I've never contacted you or been in contact with you before, you get to see the human side of me and how I'm using the app to develop myself. So in IWYZE, we've seen a 63% adoption rate, which is phenomenal. It's far more than what we were gunning for. And in some of the teams, we can see that the adoption is actually at 80%. And I think that the teams that we expected to see the engagement in are exactly the teams that are making use of the app. I feel that engagement was driven by the users of the app, and something cool that the leaders were doing is when they're opening up their team huddles, their connect sessions, when they're strategizing for the week ahead or the day ahead, they would open up their sessions using a 2-minute catch-up on something that's relevant to them. So I feel like it's really personalized to what they need at that point. What was interesting to see is that our employee wellbeing scores have improved by 28%, peaking at around 40% as an increase, which is phenomenal. We've seen an increase of our eNPS by 24 points. The overall work well-being has increased by 5% and continues to grow. October Health has assisted our teams and our team leaders, so the leadership layer, to get real-time insights into what's happening in their teams. So what it gives you is stats on burnout, flight risk, and overall productivity and well-being. This has allowed for the team leaders, for the leadership team, to be able to shift and be a little bit more agile with how they solve. So what we are seeing is that a lot of different divisions are solving differently for their teams, and having that bespoke angle on solving for well-being has really improved the employee experience. I found the pilot really successful, and we intentionally rolled it out to one group of OMI as a pilot. And what this has done is created a bit of FOMO in our organization, because people are sharing their stories on how much it has benefited them. We had different people from division saying, when are we getting it? And now that we have access to it, I know our launch day was in Feb this year. On the day I was getting emails like crazy, like how do I sign up? Which email address to use? So people are really excited and wanting that additional layer of support. What I think is so great about it is it's not kind of reactive in the sense like a normal EAP where somebody would call when the house is on fire. So this is more of a preventative approach, and our staff really appreciate that. Our initial pilot included a call center of 350 employees, and we've now scaled it to 2,900, which is substantial. Some amazing feedback that we received from our employees. There was one in particular that said he used the coaching course as well as Luna to get a promotion, which just talks to that self-empowerment layer. Instead of waiting for something to come to you, you can actually do it for yourself using the app. Last year, I actually had a really difficult time with my son, and grade 4 is a big leap from grade 3. Some say that it is actually bigger than the gap from matric to university. And we knew that going into it was going to be a bit of a challenging year, and what we didn't anticipate was how difficult it would be for him to adjust, not only to that, but also bullying instances. So it was really difficult for us to figure out why he wasn't wanting to go to school. It was very frustrating for our entire family. And I just got to a point where I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. And it just so happened that it was during the launch of October Health, which has impacted me personally, and my husband as well. He's been using the app as a dependent. So it kind of gave us insights. What I found really useful were the focus groups, or the support groups rather, where you could unmute and just share your story. I've received so much support from people all around, like strangers, and it helped me look at things or reframe my thinking. I think it's like personal biases where you expect for things to work a certain way. Like we were very used to traditional schooling, and he needs to fit in, and it helped me understand that it doesn't need to be that way for him, because he's a whole other individual. So it just kind of shifted for us to think differently and see how we can support him. Our relationship has improved so much. At one stage, we took him to a psychiatrist and a psychologist because we just were hitting that brick wall. But up until the point where I used all the additional support from October Health, it's just made such an incredible difference on our family, and he is back to his normal self. He's communicating effectively, which is amazing. He's able to set his boundaries and communicate them with us, and it really helps us in decision making and guiding him. So I'm learning a lot every single day. I use Luna all the time to help me and guide my thinking a little bit better. I would highly recommend for different employers of call centers specifically to make use of October Health, and I think that additional layer just makes all the difference to our employees. You're going to see a shift in productivity, you're going to see a shift in the way leaders think about driving performance and results, and being able to support their teams in many different ways. So I'm originally from a call center. I started off in a services team many moons ago, and I think that when you get into a leadership position, it's very easy to forget the pressures of, having back-to-back calls, complex queries, complaints, people in your ear constantly. Whenever we do try and solve, especially for our call center team, I try and keep that in the back of my mind to say, what did I need and what do they need? So I think October Help is actually the perfect solution to be able to get the real-time insights. I'm very fortunate in a way that employees will come to me and talk, and I love that, but to get like a harmonized voice across from an entire team where we can solve specifically for them, I think makes all the difference in the world.